Hey folks, what's going on? It's Justin Masson here. And today, ladies and gentlemen, knock, knock, knock. Nintendo has finally put the final nails in the 3DS coffin. What am I talking about? Well, of course, I'm talking about the Nintendo Switch LITE, or known as the Nintendo Switch Mini, or known as the worst kept secret in video game platform history for the last several years. So let's break down the Nintendo Switch LITE and the announcement that came out today. So the announcement came out, we hit our PR firms, or hit our inbox, got the trailer, got on to about 6.5 minute trailer about the Nintendo Switch LITE. Now, of course, the Nintendo Switch LITE is the dedicated handheld version of the Nintendo Switch. But you're like, well, hold on a second, isn't the Nintendo Switch a handheld device? It is absolutely a handheld device. It's also a home device. Nintendo in this video very specifically wanted to ensure and separate the difference between the current, what we'd call OG or old school or the original Nintendo Switch versus the new LITE version. They did this in a couple of ways by telling us specifically what the differences were. First and foremost, the screen is 5.5 inches, I believe, as opposed to the standard 6.2 that we see. Couple other things. It is a completely enclosed unit, meaning the Joy-Cons do not separate. They do not come off in other ways or in any ways. Speaking of Joy-Cons, a couple very quick things I noticed off the hop when I saw it. The left Joy-Con is now replaced with a proper D-pad. That's fantastic. The right Joy-Con no longer has an IR sensor. And again, they are not detachable in any way. So they are a standalone one-piece unit. Couple other things to bring to your attention. There is no kickstand on the back of it. There's also no dock that it comes with as well. So what does this mean? Well, this definitely means that Nintendo has positioned it as a handheld take with you device. Again, being smaller and not having any dock accessories at all. This kind of felt like, to me, actually one of, I think, the biggest miss. I think everything else is fine. Non-detachable Joy-Cons, no kickstand, that's fine. But to not have the ability to at least dock it in, I think actually is a little bit of a miss. It's my own opinion of it. I know that then skews handheld versus home. But I think, again, the ability to dock would have been a huge, huge win, I think, for this platform. Again, you don't need to include the dock, but functionally have the ability to do that. So it's my one kind of gripe a little bit about it. It comes in 3 different color variants off the start, and again, the launch date for that being September 20th, alongside Zelda: A Link Between Zelda Link's Awakening. There it is. My brain's not working. Link's Awakening comes in a yellow, gray, and a turquoise color as well. Couple other things. They do have a Pokemon version, which is kind of a lighter gray with the Sword and Shield, the legendaries, Zimmer and Zemaz, I don't know what the hell they were called. On the back of them, kind of nicely done. The color buttons, and are different colors as well, so it's quite sharp actually. Not a huge shock, right? If you're going to put out a handheld device knowing how big Pokemon is, and that Pokemon is traditionally very much a handheld game, you are going to want to have probably a really good handheld system prior to it. So not a big shock that Nintendo announced this variant now. Not a big shock it's coming out in September. And of course, you're going to have a line with specialty ones with Pokemon when that launches in November. So from a positioning perspective and from a marketing perspective, Nintendo is doing a great job setting themselves up for success to continue to push their Nintendo Switch sales forward into the last part, 2019, 2020, and 2021. Of course, I think what you're going to see, like we have with 3DSs, is tons of different variants. So although we have the 3 to start off with and then the Pokemon one, I'd suspect we're going to have a lot more different variant colors as well. Overall, I think it's a smart idea by Nintendo. Again, not a huge shock. I am disappointed about the not having the docks positioning at least available for them. A couple other things that they did actually mention, which I thought was very interesting. They said, well, hey, since it's not detachable Joy-Cons, if you want to play a game that requires Joy-Cons that are detached, such as 1-2 Switch, you need to go buy them. Okay, fair enough. Yeah, you need to go, oh, and wait a second, if I need to buy those, I need to find a way to figure out how to charge those, because you don't charge. I can't take the other ones off. So you also need your charging station for them. So the system does not take away from the ability to use Joy-Cons, but the Joy-Cons are not detachable. and you can't charge them. So that kind of puts you in a little bit of an interesting situation. They also did a really great job, actually, of showing how the Nintendo Switch LITE could play with the other Nintendo Switch consoles around. I think there was like someone had set up a game of Smash Brothers or Splatoon, and everybody kind of like, skateboarded up because they're super cool and sat down and all played a game together. Well, right on, right? So they did that really well. Again, not a huge shock. Again, I think what we're seeing there is, of course, if you have a Nintendo Switch and you want to play local online play or local, multiplayer, you're in the same vicinity, they all work together. There's no separate from the OG versus the LITE. So overall, I thought it was a good presentation. Good move by Nintendo. I think these things are still like gangbusters. They look really good. I'd be interested in getting a look at them hands-on with them. They almost look rubberized around the actual casing. Looks like there's almost a rubber sealant in some ways. I'd like to just understand the durability of that from a parenting perspective, right? Currently, like if my kids drop my Switch, I have this like heart attack moment where I'm like, please don't shatter or break. Looks like there may be a bit more durability. Again, if you're targeting younger audience, you're targeting handheld audience, then I think that kind of durability component of it has to be there. It looks quite slick. Would I get one for myself? No, I probably wouldn't. Right, because the size is fine for me. My current OG one does exactly what I want. I'd also be interested to understand like how easy transfer files are. Probably not easy, right? Like I can't just, I can't be playing. We know how Nintendo works with their kind of transfer files. I can't be playing out of my OG and then pick up the LITE and they're the exact same. It's separate identities, separate profiles, I'm sure. So all of that. So what we may see actually come of this is more parents who'll be purchasing these for the kids, currently separating their, our Switch for the whole family to now the kids using their own Switch. So how do I move those games? How do I move those profiles? Can I share those games? Can I move those profiles? So I think we're going to see a lot more account sharing questions or account sharing game saving questions, backup questions that are going to come around this, because I think you're starting to see people separate out their maybe family unit into being more like kids and mums and dads have their own stuff. I know in my household, I immediately thought, oh my gosh, my kids are probably going to want one of these. How do I start transferring files around? So this will be something that Nintendo will have to address, and we're obviously going to have more information on it as well. But guys, that is a Nintendo Switch LITE announcement. This video is longer than the video that they announced it with, but my thoughts. Nintendo dads, what we do, you're going to hear more about this on the podcast this week. Tune in. We're going to talk about this. We're going to talk about everything that we do with Nintendos. Let me know in the comments below, guys, what do you think of the Nintendo Switch LITE? Are you going to get one? Which color variant are you going to get? Are you excited about this? Or do you think this is absolutely bonkers and Nintendo shouldn't do it? Guys, thanks so much for tuning in, supporting us like you do. Take care. Bye-bye.